Can you find good records in the bargain bin these days? Coming up next, I'll take a look at 10 records I got for a total of $20.
That's shocking.
I'm Mike. It is Music Meanderings, and thanks for joining us. So can you find good records in the bargain bins these days? Lots of people go out and they buy records maybe for the colored vinyl for all kinds of different reasons, the reissues. Me, I like to go into a record store and dig deep into the bargain bins, and we have a local record store that has a huge selection of $2 records. So last time out, that's what I did. I went through all the $2 records, and here's what I found. When I first walked in, the first thing I saw in the $2 bin, one that I have actually been looking for a while, which is the Doobie Brothers and their second album, Toulouse Street, named after the street in the French Quarter, New Orleans. A great album. Now, the first Doobie Brothers album didn't do all that well. It didn't have any hit singles on it. Didn't really sell all that well. This one, though, a different story as it starts right off with a listen to the music. It goes into Rockin' Down the Highway. Also featured the single Jesus Is Just All Right. And just a great produced album. Sounds fantastic. Ted Tippelman production, one of their finest studio efforts, and was really anxious to pick this one up for $2. Doobie Brothers and Toulouse Street. The next one I found was a Cat Stevens record. Now, I have Cat Stevens' greatest hits. I don't have any of his other studio albums, and I've always heard this is one of his better ones. Now, I assume when this record came out that it actually had the sticker maybe on the cellophane, because there's no title on the front of this record. However, it's on the back, Teaser and the Firecat. A great album by Cat Stevens. Of course, some of his breakthrough hits on this one. Morning Has Broken, Moon Shadow, and Peace Train. And the rest of the album is really good as well. In fact, there was even a cartoon that went along with this record as well. That's what the whole album is about this cartoon on the front here. Teaser and the Firecat from Cat Stevens. You know, sometimes when you're going through the $2 bins, you just look down, there it is. Maybe not a record you were actually looking for, but at the same time, you can't turn it down. That was the case with this one. The Mamas and Papas Greatest Hits. I've always liked the Mamas and Papas. Worked in oldies radio for a long time. Have done a lot of car shows and DJing where you play oldies, and a lot of these songs are played a lot. Like, of course, California Dreamin'. If you were to name one song to associate it with Mamas and Papas, that would probably be it. But also dedicated to the one I love, Creek Alley is on this, and, well, probably their second biggest hit, perhaps. Monday. I saw her again last night. Words of Love. So many good songs on this one. Well worth the $2 price I paid for the best of the Mamas and Papas. Well, when you think of this band, a lot of times people say right away, underrated or didn't get what they deserved. In fact, if you check the channel, you'll find I do a short on stars and their career and why they didn't really maybe make it as far as they could have. Stars, and this is their second album. It is called Violation, out of 1977. When I was growing up, I had the 45, the single, and always loved that song by Stars. So I've been looking for this one for quite a while, going through those bargain bins like I often do. And I was surprised to find one in great shape. The cover, not in the best shape. The record in very good shape. A band that, if you haven't checked them out, they were very influential with bands like Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, Cinderella, Twisted Sister. So many others say Stars was a big influence. Again, I got all these records for a total of $20. 10 albums. $2 each. And the next one here, one of my favorite oldies groups, and that is the Hollies. The Hollies had a commercial greatest hits album, which had 12 cuts on it. This one has all that and 8 more, 20 songs on it. Now, at first I was kind of hesitant, but again, it's only $2, so I thought I'd take a chance because it is on the TV Tunes label, right? TV Tunes, TV International. So, kind of like a K-Tel type deal. So I wasn't sure if the pressing would be any good, if it would sound any good. I was pleasantly surprised. Really a good sounding album. Great to add all these songs to my collection, like Look Through Any Window on a Carousel, Stop, 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 Carrie Ann. It includes Hollies from the 60s and also Hollies from the 70s, like He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother, The Air That I Breathe, and a favorite, of course, Long Cool Woman and the Black Dress from the Hollies. I'm Mike, it's Music Meanderings. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching the video as I go through some of my $2 selections that I bought out of the bargain bin. 10 albums for $2 each for a total of $20. That's what I call a good day of record shopping. The next one, again, not one that was really on my radar, although I heard of this band in association with Dave Edmunds, and that is Rockpile. Nick Lowe, Dave Edmunds. A lot of times if you see a Dave Edmunds or Nick Lowe album, you will see Rockpile. They were their backing band. But what I didn't realize until I did some research is Rockpile only released one album as a band. And this is it, 1980 from Rockpile and Seconds of Pleasure. And it's really split right down the middle between Dave Edmunds and also Nick Lowe songs. A very good album, well worth the $2. Thumb through the records in the bargain bin and finding some treasures like this one. I have looked at this one before. I don't know if you do a lot of record shopping, perhaps you build a pile of records and sometimes some get shuffled into the discard pile, where you just don't have enough money to buy everything, so you put some aside. This is one record that I have had in my hands before, but never bought. Found a great copy of it for only $2 in the bargain bin at the local record store. Originally with the band Spirit, also sung for JoJo Gunn, and then went on a solo career. And I'm talking about Jay Ferguson and Thunder Island. Great single out of 1977 featuring some tasty guitar work from Joe Walsh. In fact, Joe Walsh performs on many tracks on this album. Really a good listen. Jay Ferguson and Thunder Island. Well, earlier I was talking about TV Tunes, kind of a K-Tel type label. Well, here is a K-Tel album. And the reason that this really appealed to me is I had this as a kid. Now, if you grew up in the 70s, chances are good you had a K-Tel album or two, because it was a real economical way to get all the songs that you wanted instead of forking out 99 cents or whatever they were for each 45. You could get, look at that, 22 hits on one album. How did they do it? Well, there were rumors circulating around that they would speed the tracks up. I haven't really heard that so much, but what they would do is some extreme edits on songs, which as a kid I didn't notice so much, but after buying this and playing it, I certainly noticed where they cut a lot of songs short. They would cut out a solo, they would cut out a whole intro in some cases, or just fade the song out early. Believe in Music, 22 hits. So what's on this beauty? Daniel Boone, Beautiful Sunday. Also, Mouth and McNeil, How Do You Do? Hollies, The Long Cool Woman. Donny Osmond, Go Away Little Girl. Cher with Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. Dr. Hook with Sylvia's Mother. It was give and take, but still probably worth the price. And for me, it was great to add this back to my record collection just for memory's sake. Well, as I covered on a previous video, 1978, 1979 rolled around. A lot of rock bands found themselves doing a disco tune. And this was probably one of the prime cases when you think of that. And that is Rod Stewart and Do You Think I'm Sexy from his album Blondes Have More Fun. Now, other than that song, this was not a whole disco album. In fact, this is one of my favorite Rod Stewart albums. Most of this is more typical what you would expect out of a Rod Stewart record. Not a disco album, besides the one hit song that's on it. And finally, perusing the bargain bins, trying to look for some good deals. This is one that I have picked up many times. Now, I just figured this was like maybe a late 70s power pop band that I hadn't heard of, kind of like, Detective or Tycoon, something like that. So I never really looked at it very closely. Turns out that this is actually a Warner Brothers sampling album, and it's a double album. The Force, Warner Brothers Records. Now, they would have people buy this or just simply distribute them around radio stations and try to get some plays on their songs. There are a few hits on this, like Blackwater by the Doobie Brothers, Leo Sayer, Long Tall Glasses, Jethro Tull, Bungle in the Jungle. But for the most part, probably songs that you hadn't heard of before, even if you had heard of the group. There are cuts by Foghat, Trapeze, Montrose, Fleetwood Mac, Percy Sledge, also Ron Wood, Tower of Power, Van Morrison, just stocked with good songs on this double record sampler from Warner Brothers and The Force, purchased for $2. So all in all, pretty good day at the record store. What do you think? What are your favorite bargain bin purchases? Go ahead and comment below. And thanks for watching Music Meanderings.